Hi guys, today I'll be taking a look at a fake Holy Panda, the Feker Panda. Let's get started. Now, before I actually begin, I want to mention that I won't be discussing any ethical viewpoints regarding this switch in this review. That's its own separate topic that I can cover another time if you guys want that, because I do know it's an important topic to be discussed. Now, these switches, as I mentioned, are fake. They are branded as Feker instead of Inve on the top housing, which you would see on the real Holy Panda. And according to Urban Dictionary, Feker is a beautiful woman who has a distinctive personality, whatever that means. Anyway, these switches look like the real Holy Pandas. I mean, here's a picture of the real and the fake ones mixed together. Even I struggle to point out which one is which, unless I look closely, of course. Now, unlike most Switch manufacturers, Feker also makes keyboards like the Alice 80, the IK75, and the JJK84, all of which are aimed at budget consumers. Now, pricing wise, these are about £17 for 35 switches on AliExpress, meaning these are about 50p per switch, which is more budget oriented compared to real Holy Pandas. And this is what they look like when disassembled. Feel free to pause the video. Now, let's move on to the switch categories. On-center key presses are ultra smooth with almost zero scratchiness even on slow key presses. Off-center key presses are very smooth with only a couple of switching exhibiting noticeable levels of scratchiness, none of which can be felt when normally typing. Overall, these are impressively smooth and one that I can highly recommend. Not bad for a number 2 switch. 8 out of 10. Now, according to one of the many listings on AliExpress, these switches are said to actuate at 67 grams. However, this listing from Keycaps say they actuate at 58 grams, which is more in line to what they actually feel like. Additionally, they also mention that these have a 2mm pre-travel and a 4mm total travel. Now, in terms of the overall key feel, just like the Glorious Panda, there's zero pre-travel, which I appreciate. Surprisingly enough, its tactility is also crisper and cleaner feeling, but I'd still say that the actual tactility is a bit too light for me. It isn't bad though. Overall, they're nicely weighted. I can see it as the ideal switch to anyone looking for a medium-ish tactility on a budget. 8 out of 10. Now, these sound similar to the Glorious Panda. They're clacky but a bit louder, plus they don't have any spring ping nor do they sound tinny. So overall a bit better but not by a huge margin. 7 out of 10. Now, take a listen and enjoy. Now, typing on these was fantastic. It's honestly one of the better MX designed tactile switches of recent years. It's smooth and crisp, unlike the Glorious Panda, which suffered from mushiness. Additionally, I had no issues with larger keys being stuck or returning slowly, which was a small issue with the Glorious Panda. So again, the fakes are better here, which is surprising to me. Now, the only real downside I can see with these is the weighting, which by the way isn't even all that bad. I just happen to prefer heavier weighted tactile switches like the MX Clear for example. Overall, this is a step above the Glorious Panda. I recommend these over those. 8 out of 10. Now, I don't say this lightly, but these are the perfect gaming switch. Top tier, no question about it. So what makes them top tier switches then? Well, they are tactile enough when I need them to be, and the weighting is ideal for both fast and slow paced games, which I now know is quite difficult to achieve with a single switch, but these achieve that. Honestly, I was wowed in my first impressions when I used them for TF2, a fast paced game. Then I used it to play Hitman 2 and I was impressed even more how it handled precision movements in that game. Even today, after 2 weeks of use, it still impresses me. Overall, as a gaming Switch, you can't go wrong with these, they're basically perfect in my opinion. 10 out of 10. In conclusion, even though these are fake, they performed amazingly, especially for gaming, which took me by surprise. I don't even see the point in glorious pandas anymore unless you find them for a really good deal, I guess. The final score for this Switch is 41 out of 50 or 82%. That's up there with the Boba U4T, a more expensive Switch, and well above the glorious Panda, which is one of its competitors. And that's the end of the review. Next time I'll be taking a look at these, the real drop Holy Pandas. Until then, take care and goodbye.